Have you ever had to fill in that one line on a form? The line that just says, emergency contact. One name. The person they call first if something ever happens to you. The one who drops everything and comes. For some people, that's easy. The name is already there before the pen even touches the paper. But some people freeze on that blank line. The cursor just keeps blinking, and your mind starts going down the list. Not them. I can't put them through that. We're not really that close anymore. And then a cold little truth settles in. There's honestly no name to write. If that empty line just made something go quiet inside you, stay with me. Because tonight, this one is for you. I am Bikash, and you're watching Walking with Jesus. Give me the next few minutes, because I want to talk about a kind of emptiness that you've probably never been able to put into words for anyone. We tend to use one single word for all of it: lonely. But I want to say something to you tonight, maybe in a way you haven't heard before. Being lonely and having no one who is truly yours, those are two completely different things. Loneliness is a feeling. It comes and it goes. You watch something, you laugh with someone, you get busy, and it lifts. But having no one who is yours, that isn't a feeling. It's a place. An empty space that stays inside you. In a crowd. In the middle of laughter. Even on your happiest day. You're smiling on the outside, and that space just sits there, quietly. Think about it for a second. When something wonderful happens, some good news, who's the very first person you want to call? And then it hits you. There isn't anyone. When the fever comes in the middle of the night, is there someone who just gets up and puts a glass of water beside your bed without you even asking? And when the evening ends and everyone heads home to their people, do you have a home to go back to? Or just a room where you shut the door and you're alone all over again? If something went still inside you just now, that's okay. Because this is exactly where the real thing begins. And before anything else, I want to lift one weight right off your shoulders. This feeling does not always come from something you did wrong. Sometimes a job pulls you into a new city where there are 1,000 faces and not one of them is yours. You work all day and come back to the same silent room. Sometimes after a wedding, you walk into a brand new home, full of new people, and for months, you feel like a guest in the very place you now live. And the heaviest one of all? Sometimes you can be sitting inside your own family, at the same table, under the same roof, and still feel like nobody there truly sees you. And through all of it, your mind does this strange thing. It starts to count. Who didn't show up? Who forgot? Who isn't on your side? And every single time you run that count, that empty space just grows a little deeper. And out of all that counting, a lie is born. It slips in quietly and it whispers, if no one is mine, then there must be something wrong with me. And sometimes, something even heavier. Maybe even God has walked away from me. And why does that lie sound so true? Because in the middle of pain, the thing that hurts us the most is usually the thing we believe the most. But there is a verse in the Bible, in Psalm 68, that breaks that lie right in half. Just before it, it says that God is a father to the fatherless and a defender of widows. In other words, the very people this world overlooks, God steps in and calls his own. And then it says something I want you to hold on to tonight. It says, God sets the lonely in families. Stop and hear that again. He doesn't say he gives more people to the ones who already have people. He says, the one who is alone, the one who has no one, the one standing right at the very edge, God places that person into a family. Which means your having no one is not God overlooking you. It is the exact address that he shows up to first. And this isn't just a line. There's a whole living story of it right there in the Bible. There was a woman named Ruth. She wasn't an Israelite. She was a foreigner from a land called Moab. Her husband died. Her home fell apart. No children, no support, no one to call her own. In those days, being a widow and a foreigner on top of that meant being pushed to the very edge of everything. Few people have ever known having no one more deeply than she did. Her mother-in-law Naomi told her, "Go back to your own country, your own people, start your life again." But Ruth said something that still moves the heart, even today. She said, "Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." She chose to belong, even when she had nothing left to lose. And then, what happened? God took that lonely foreign widow and He set her in a family, in the home of a good man named Boaz. But the story doesn't end there. That same Ruth, the woman who had no one, went on to become the great-grandmother of King David. And from that very same family line, many years later, Jesus was born. Just think about that for a moment. The woman the world had called nobodies, God placed her in the greatest family in all of history, in the family line of Christ Himself. That is what it means to set the lonely in families. Now there is an honest question rising up in you right now. Okay, but I read this verse, I pray, and I'm still alone. So why hasn't God placed me in a family yet? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to promise that by tomorrow morning, your life will suddenly be full of people. That would be dishonest, and you deserve better than that from me. But two things are true, and you need to hear them. The first, God's setting is often slow. It is not a one-night miracle. It wasn't one single day for Ruth either. In between, there was waiting, there was work, and there were quiet days of simply trusting. And the second one, which matters even more, the family that God gives doesn't always look the way we pictured it. Sometimes it isn't blood at all. Sometimes it is a whole new kind of family, one that's held together by faith and not by blood. And that is exactly where Jesus steps in. One day, word came to Jesus that his mother and his brothers were standing outside asking for him. And Jesus looked around at the people sitting near him and he said, "Whoever does the will of God, that person is my brother and my sister and my mother." In that one moment, Jesus changed what the word family even means. He said, family is not only what you are born into. There is also a family that forms around God. And Jesus wasn't saying that from some safe distance. He knew personally what it was to be rejected by his own. His own hometown didn't accept him. A close friend betrayed him. And in the end, the rest of them ran away in fear. But look at the deepest moment of his entire life. On the cross, in the middle of his greatest pain, Jesus looked down and he saw his mother standing there. And right next to her, the disciple he loved. And even then, when he of all people was the most alone, he built a family. He said to his mother, "Here is your son." And to the disciple he said, "Here is your mother." And from that hour on, that disciple took her into his own home. Just sit with that for a second. In the very moment Jesus was the most alone, he joined two lonely hearts into one family. That is how Jesus works. He gathers the broken, the scattered, the ones standing at the very edge, and he builds them a home. And in that home, in God's family, you do not have to earn your place. It is given to you, like a son, like a daughter, freely. So tonight, don't just carry this feeling to bed alone. Let me give you a small path. And it's easy to remember because it spells one single word: home. The first letter, H, his first. Before you belong to any person, settle this one thing in your heart. You already belong to a Father. Tonight, before you sleep, just say one line: God, I know that I am yours. When the root is strong, loneliness cannot pull you out. The second, O, offer your hand first. We keep waiting for someone else to invite us, but belonging usually comes to the one who reaches out first. This week, message just one person for no reason at all. Just, hey, how have you been? You go first. The third, M. Make one lonely person yours. Look around you. There is someone else standing quietly at the edge just like you. And the day you start filling someone else's loneliness is very often the day God starts filling yours. And the fourth, E. Every week, one place. Belonging is not built in one big moment. It is built by showing up again and again. Pick one time each week, one church, one group, one person, and keep going back. Not just once, every time. Home. Those 4 small steps will slowly carry you to the place where you become someone's own again. Now let's go back to that blank line. The emergency contact box. The one you couldn't find a single name for. Tonight, something is different.
Because now you know. There was a name there all along.
You just don't call it a contact. You call it Father. The one who shows up first in every trouble without ever being asked. And that one name isn't the end. It's a seed. Those 4 steps, that home, will slowly begin adding human names to that empty list too. Because when the owner of the list is God Himself, it doesn't stay empty for long. You are not the extra one. You are not what's left over. You belong to a God who goes looking, especially for the ones that no one else ever comes looking for. If this touched something in you today, then do one small thing. Pass it on to one person who feels like they have no one in this world. Maybe today, you become the very hand that God uses to give them a home. And down in the comments, just write this: I am not alone. So that tomorrow, when another broken person finds their way here, they'll see it too. And they'll know that they are not alone either. And as you go, take this verse with you, the one this whole conversation grew from. God sets the lonely in families. Maybe not today, but your turn is coming too.